Bitcoin has just hit 50K for the first time since 2021, and are we going to see new all-time highs before the halving? This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody Buffington. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, AltcoinBuzzIO, and as always, this is not financial advice, and we wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Altcoin Buzz Alpha is proud to say that we now have a winning portfolio spread among different sectors. We're also very well positioned to get into good IDOs. What about airdrops? Check the number of airdrops we've received until now. Add to that the original Celestia airdrop and more coming. We've achieved all of this by giving many deep research diversified calls. Check out our numbers in December. We now plan to reallocate profits to low caps, diversify to new sectors, get bigger airdrops, catch latest trends like Bitcoin and Lena inscriptions, and DCA during market flushes. We've also recently introduced a yearly subscription on Patreon. If you subscribe to our yearly plan, you get 1 month's membership completely free. Check out Altcoin Buzz Alpha with the link down below. Bitcoin has broken above 50K for the first time since 2021 and is starting to look like this bull market cycle could be different than previous ones. According to Crypto Gel on X, for the first time in its history, Bitcoin has broken the 0.618 retracement before the halving, the strongest start to a new bull cycle ever. 2 months to go until the halving event, this cycle will probably play out differently than the others. In previous cycles, we haven't seen new all-time highs until much later in the year. However, it could be possible in the next few months. Neste XPT on X shared a chart in November last year saying Bitcoin will see a pre-halving all-time high if it keeps copying previous cycles post-Black Swan fractal. After the FTX crash, we copied each phase that occurred after the COVID crash. If this continues, we'll see new all-time high early 2024. The ETF catalyst could make that happen. Then yesterday, he followed up on that post adding, "Now we have confirmation that the ETF catalyst is strong enough to break from our standard cycle phases. We could be entering an upthrust into all-time highs before the halving." He then followed up with another chart saying, "The first ever golden break before halving. We are deviating from the 4-year cycle." The chart shows this golden circle, which is a high made before the halving, that price doesn't get back to until sometime after the halving. But this year we've already broken that high with 66 days to go until the halving. It's no doubt that this is in part to the constant buy pressure now from the Bitcoin ETFs. Duo9 shared a table of the Bitcoin ETF inflows saying the ETFs buy $500 million of Bitcoin per day. If you're bearish, this tweet is your reality check. And Elio Trades is surprised at how little attention Bitcoin seemingly has while price breaks 50K again, saying Bitcoin at 50K and retail is nowhere to be seen. It boggles the mind how 8 billion people can fumble this opportunity. It was so obvious, and yet here we are, a horde of degens positioned ahead of the biggest wave of capital ever to flow into a new asset class. Meanwhile, Anthony Pompliano was recently on CNBC talking about the massive demand increase and supply shock incoming.
Look, the verdict's in, right? Wall Street doesn't just like Bitcoin, they love Bitcoin. If you think of these assets, there's been over 5,500 ETF launches in history. Never have we had a fund get to $3 billion in AUM in the first 30 days. BlackRock and Fidelity both just did it. So 2 for the first time in history. And then if you look at Bitwise and 21 Shares, ARK, they're both gonna hit $1 billion this year, or this week. And so now you have 4 funds that are going to hit $1 billion of inflows. But the most interesting part of this is the inflows. These funds are doing $500 million a day of net inflows. But there's only 900 Bitcoin that is actually coming into the daily incoming supply. And so when you look at that, that's like $40 to $45 million. There's 12.5x more demand for Bitcoin than what's being produced on a daily basis.
So how much of this do you think is being generated by the ETFs themselves?
Well, I mean, you just measure the actual net inflows, right? And so you can just see there is way more buying pressure.
So you're saying $3 billion for BlackRock.
There's $4 billion now for BlackRock, 3.5 for Fidelity, and then you've got Bitwise and 21 Shares will both hit about $1 billion this upcoming week.
Total valuation, though, of Bitcoin, if
$1 trillion.
The market cap is $1 trillion. So isn't this a de minimis issue or no?
Now here's where it gets really interesting.
Most of these things aren't trading.
80%
right.
of all Bitcoin in circulation has not moved in the last 6 months. You have only about $200 billion is actually tradable. And so that means that these ETFs sucked up 5% of the entire tradable supply of Bitcoin in 30 days. I mean, Bitcoin is become Wall Street's favorite asset.
You've heard of airdrops from layer 1 chains, layer 2 chains, various dApps and protocols, but a VC fund doing an airdrop? That's what our partners at Commonwealth are doing. Commonwealth's goal is to bring VC investment opportunities to the public, democratizing fundraising. You can take part now and start to qualify for your part of the $2.4 million from this fund. It'll take place on February 21st, so in just 1 week. If you ever thought that you'd invest in the next Uniswap, Celestia, or Solana earlier if you could, then check this out. You don't even have to buy in like the VCs do. Do the tasks to qualify for the airdrop, and you get your allocation for free. Commonwealth will be hosting an AMA on X tomorrow, February 14th at 2 p.m. UTC for any and all questions. So check out their free VC airdrop and spaces with the links down below. Since the Bitcoin ETFs launched a month ago, they have hit record-breaking numbers. Mark Wolsinski said the verdict is out. Wall Street loves Bitcoin. Never before has an ETF reached $3 billion in assets under management in less than 30 days until now. Both BlackRock and Fidelity's Bitcoin Spot ETFs have just done it. Major financial institutions are ramping up their crypto exposure, currently holding $59 billion in assets under management. The $60 billion mark hasn't been seen since the last week of February 2022, when institutions held $60.9 billion. Inflows topped $1.1 billion over the past 7 days, with Bitcoin comprising 98% of the total flow. Ally Chart shared that Bitcoin whales have been on a buying spree, acquiring 140,000 Bitcoin over the past 3 weeks, amounting to $6.16 billion. And IT Tech added, please take a look at today's outflows from the Coinbase Advanced Exchange, which is mostly used by institutional investors. What can we observe here? There's huge demand, especially today. Remember, they want your Bitcoin, don't give in to FOMO, and make sure you have strong hands. Meanwhile, Santiment shared a chart noting that Bitcoin has officially climbed above 50K for the first time since December 27, 2021. The stablecoin market caps have risen significantly, with $11.4 billion added in just 4 months. $5 million plus whale wallets have accumulated 2.32% of the top 6 stablecoins in 4 weeks. And driven by CEO Michael Saylor's interest in the digital asset, MicroStrategy's Bitcoin investment has reached $3.5 billion in unrealized profits. Saylor, a longtime advocate of the potential of Bitcoin, has now led the company to holding more than 190,000 Bitcoin, worth more than $9.4 billion at the current price. Moreover, the firm now reportedly holds more than 1% of the entire circulating supply of Bitcoin, which is around 18.6 million. MicroStrategy first began investing in Bitcoin 4 years ago. At the time, the asset was beginning to gain interest from various institutional investors. The firm then made its inaugural Bitcoin purchase of $250 million worth in the summer of 2020. Since then, it's only grown its impressive holdings. Just last week, the company announced its holdings of 190,000 Bitcoin in its Q4 earnings report. Franklin Templeton has become the latest Wall Street firm to apply for the Spot ETH ETF in the United States. The $1.5 trillion asset management firm submitted the S-1 filing with the United States SEC on February 12th. If approved, it would be listed as the Franklin Ethereum ETF on the Chicago Board Options Exchange. Franklin Templeton said that it would expect to stake the Ether from the Trust cold storage wallets and that the Trust would receive staking rewards treated as income as a result. BlackRock, Vanek, Fidelity, Invesco, Galaxy, Grayscale, and Hashdex are the other Spot ETH ETFs vying for SEC approval. The SEC must decide on Vanek's application by May 23rd, ARK21 shares by May 24th, and Hashdex's by May 30th. However, Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seyffert expects a decision to be made on all applicants by May 23rd, similar to how the U.S. securities regulator made a decision on all Spot Bitcoin ETFs on January 10th. While Franklin Templeton was late to the Spot Ether ETF race, it recently praised the network fundamentals of Ethereum, Solana, and other blockchains, which sparked the proposition that the ETF issuer may look to expand beyond Bitcoin. Michael Vanapomp wrote, the waiting game until Ethereum starts to pick up the pace, flip the 2150 level for support, currently waiting for breakout for continuation to 3500. That's it for Altcoin Buzzy's update. I'm Risker Buffinson. Thanks for watching.